Allen finds Sedgley. Now Stewart, return to Sedgley. It's a one-touch football from Tottenham. Now, great touchdown by Leeburn. Now Williams got Walsh to the left. Good football from Charlton Athletic. The cross coming in, Leeburn gets the header. And a very nearly an early threat for Tottenham. Brilliant move by Charlton. The touchdown was originally from Leeburn. Williams putting it out for Walsh, who got the cross in, and Leeburn rose above his defender and got the header on, and it wasn't too far off target. Lineker dispossessed well by Pates. But Mabbutt now, the Tottenham skipper, picking it up in midfield. Stewart looking for Vanden Hauwe, but it's cut out. Now Peake lays it out for Lee. He's got Robert Naeem chasing him. But Lee gets past Naeem with great speed, picks out Williams now. McKenzie floats the cross. It's a chance for Walsh now to pick it up for Charlton. Williams, yes, it comes off Guy Butters and it's in. Charlton have let it go into the lead. The cross came in, Williams got the touch, and it was off from Guy Butters. Charlton crowd celebrating, but Tottenham really stagnant at the back there. The cross had come in. Williams, that man who's caused Tottenham problems this afternoon, got the touch, and it was really off Guy Butters to go in the Tottenham net to put Charlton Athletic 1-0 ahead. Butters. Bayonce is the ref. Good refereeing. Charlton had the advantage now. Walsh. Cut out by Fenwick. Oh, and a chance. Williams, surely number 2. A great save by Norsay. Great move by Charlton. Paul Williams was through. And when it looked like number 2, a great save by the Tottenham number 1, Eric Torsted. But it's Charlton piling on the pressure now. So Steve Sedgley will take a throw, looking for the long one for Tottenham. It's a good throw. Stewart. Thomas! Yes, it's a goal for Tottenham! What a brilliant piece of work by Mitchell Thomas. It was a long throw from Steve Sedgley. And Mitchell Thomas, overhead kick, goes past Bob Boulder, and suddenly Tottenham fans have got something to sing about. Well, from nothing really, it was Steve Sedgley who got in the long throw, and Mitchell Thomas, who didn't look like he was in a scoring position, got the overhead kick and the equaliser, and now the game opens up yet again. Tremendous game this afternoon. And Lee pushing out the wide one. Picks out Leeburn. But it's Tottenham with possession. Mitchell Thomas. Gascoigne. And still Gascoigne. A great ball through. Lineker! What a tremendous goal by Tottenham. Paul Gascoigne just held off the challenge from Steve McKenzie so well and laid it through. He's even getting applause from Terry Venables. Unbelievable. And Lineker showed why he is rated as one of the best strikers in the world. And that is what Terry Venables has been asking from Paul Gascoigne all season. Now, can Charlton come back into this game? Vanden Hauwe, Thomas, Lineker, now Mitchell, now Gascoigne again, still Gascoigne, surely Gascoigne has made it 3-1, unbelievable stuff here at Selhurst. Gascoigne has answered everybody's criticism, surely now, because not only did he make the great goal for Lineker, but at the time then, Gascoigne will be knocking on Bobby Robson's door looking for that England place, surely. But that really was what Terry Venables has been looking for from Gascoigne, and the Tottenham crowd now overjoyed.
Garth, as you look back at 1989, has it been one of the slightly more frustrating years for you in terms of injuries and so on?
It has in actual fact, but I suppose looking throughout my career, I suppose I was entitled to one or two. I don't think I should really complain, but I think frustration would be the operative word, yeah.
What about the club? What state do you think they've reached now? What have they achieved over the year?
Well, I think they've stabilised their position in the First Division, and I think they've gone through a number of periods. One period of a team that really was a luxury in the First Division, that no one really expected them to be there, and no one had any real regard for them. And I think they've gained a great amount of respect and credibility within the game of football. They've proved to a lot of teams now that you survive in the First Division, you're there basically because of what you've done, and because you don't have any divine right to be there. Much bigger clubs have gone into the Second Division. Largely the fact that we've put them there, we've survived through very testing times, and I think it's gained us a lot of credibility in the First Division. And we're now, I think this is our fourth consecutive year in this league, and I don't see why it shouldn't continue.
Bob, 1989, you had to get used to new defenders in front of you. Colin Pates and Joe McLaughlin came together again as a pair. How did you find them playing in front of you?
Very useful, actually. As you know, I used to say that they were both at Chelsea playing together. So really, it didn't take long for them to get together and play well together at the back. It was a great idea, a great signing by the gaffer.
What do you think, looking back at the whole year, the end of last season, avoiding relegation in the end, and then consolidating again this season? How do you look back upon the year as a whole?
Well, we do play things a bit close to the cuff, right, really. Last 3 seasons, you know, we've just missed relegation. This season, we started off quite well. We've had a little bit of a bad patch, but I think we've definitely got the players here to, like, as a good side. It's just a question of scoring a few more goals, and we're just struggling with that a little bit.
From your personal level, any particular game that you'd look back on this season or over the year with particular satisfaction?
Well, it's over, I mean, like a year's like half of last season and the start of this season, really. No, really, I don't like to pick and choose my games. I just like to think I can get a bit of consistency going, and I feel that since I came to Charlton, it's had a good 2 or 3 years so far, and hope to carry on from there.
One particular aim in 1990 then for the club, do you think?
Yeah, hopefully finish about middle of the table and get in a cup final, hopefully. FA Cup will do, wouldn't it?
Now Mortimer, Leeburn lays it out for Lee. Now Humphrey. And Mortimer puts it in. Well, the ball came flying across the Coventry goal area, and in the end it was Mortimer who started the move in the first place, with winning a fine header, managed to put the ball into the back of the net. Well, really, it's the first real attack either team have had so far in the game, with neither team really managing to get any sort of play together. And it was a good move. The cross coming in from John Humphrey. And in the end, the scrambled ball in the area being put away, absolutely no problem by Paul Mortimer. Downs pushing the long ball forward. Speedy goes up. Regis trying to get the scissor kick. And Speedy, from nothing, manages to put the ball into the back of the net. Well, from an attack that looked really like it was going to be fruitless, the ball came down for Speedy. It got a deflection, I think, and went into the back, and the Coventry fans now finally have something to celebrate this afternoon. But really, it was like a non-event, with the ball just falling for Speedy, and Speedy getting the deflection.
Gordon, I suppose you look back on 1989 as a year when you first got your first team chance, will you?
Yeah, that's right. I had a great season this year. You look back and you think, could I have done anything better? We won the Youth Cup, then went away with the first team, started off in the first team. The only problems I had was got injured recently, but a great year really.
Have you set yourself a particular target for 1990?
Yeah, to get in the first team regular really, because at the moment just on the fringe. But I want to get in there and just stay there.
Any areas of your game that you're working on particularly?
Touch really, holding it up and bringing other people into the game, because inside the box shooting and that is my strength, but holding the ball up, giving it to bringing other players into the game is what I need to do.
Must be a very big difference between playing in the combination reserve team level and then suddenly stepping into a first division game.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker in the first team. Reserves and youth I've been doing for 4 years now, so I've got used to it. But going into the first team, you've been thrown in the deep end really. And you've got to adjust very quickly, but it's very hard.
Does it get a little depressing after a while in the reserve team? You tend to play in front of tiny crowds and without much atmosphere and so on.
I don't know, when I came out the first team, I had a little bit of glory. I think I thought that I made it sort of thing, do you know what I mean? So I stopped working hard and it affected my performance in the reserves, whereas I've got to work hard in the reserves to get back in the first team. Now I've realised where I went wrong, so now I just work hard all the time so I can get back in the first team.
Colin, how will you look back on 1989 as far as you personally and the team were concerned?
Well, we got off to a very good start, and since it's just about Christmas, we're hoping to be halfway up the table by Christmas, and then I think if we get up the table, we can relax a little bit more and we'll play better football.
Looking back to the end of last season, of course, you were only just recovering from injury. That must have been a very frustrating time for you personally.
Yes, it was. For being out so long, and especially watching the games on the Saturday, I got in for the last 10 games sub, and I came on a few times as well, which was a bonus for me. So it was frustrating, but I enjoyed it.
Were you ever worried at one stage that the team would actually lose out in the relegation fight?
About 6 weeks to go, we were struggling a little bit. Then we got a couple of good results. I think one was against Man U. We beat them 1-0. It just picked up from there.
What about this season? What have been the highlights for you? Manchester United again, perhaps?
I think Manchester United, the game, we played really well second half, and we got what we deserved to win anyway. But I think the highlight of it was the Chelsea game, the first home game, I think it was, second home game, if we won 3-0. I think that was a great game for us.
What does it mean for the players to be able to beat teams like Manchester United and Chelsea as opposed to just picking up points here and there?
It's a very big bonus. But so like you can go out and you beat Manchester United 2-0, then the following week you lose at Sheffield Wednesday, which it's just you have to take one game at a time now.
So consistency then is one of the things you're looking for in 1990?
That's right. I think if we get a settled team, we've had a few injuries recently, and we get a settled team, I think we'll start climbing the league.
Well, our best wishes anyway, and I'm sure you'd like to wish the supporters happy times too in the new year.
Yes, I'd just like to wish them happy Christmas and a prosperous new year.